Most people believe cutting out salt is the #1 thing when it comes to lowering blood pressure. But what I'm telling you today is there are 3 foods that have been scientifically proven to lower blood pressure, and none of them have to do with cutting out salt. Most people are missing these 3 key foods, and honestly, incorporating them into your eating habits can dramatically improve your numbers in just a matter of weeks. Before we dive into those 3 foods, I want to make an extremely important point about blood pressure. The #1 best thing that you can do to lower blood pressure is weight loss, and I want you to understand why. For every 2.2 pounds or 1 kilogram of body weight lost, your blood pressure will drop by 1 point. This means that losing 10 pounds of body weight will drop your systolic blood pressure, or the top number, by about 5 points. This can literally be the difference between having normal blood pressure and having borderline high blood pressure that requires a medication. Now, these 3 foods not only facilitate weight loss, but they also work directly on the arteries themselves by helping them relax. Essentially, you're getting a 2 for 1, relaxing the blood vessels to help lower blood pressure and aid in weight loss, which explains why these foods help lower blood pressure as much as they do. So the first food that we're talking about today is berries. Berries aren't just a colorful snack, they're packed with flavonoids. Flavonoids are a compound that help boost nitric oxide, which is a natural way to dilate and relax those blood vessels. When blood vessels relax, blood pressure will drop. This is the exact opposite of what happens when you're stressed. When you're stressed, your blood vessels will tighten down and constrict, which will raise blood pressure. Studies have shown that people who eat 2 to 3 handfuls of blueberries per day have lowered their systolic blood pressure by up to 7 points in just a couple of months. These are similar results to starting a low-dose blood pressure medication. So a few different tactics that you can implement to actually reap the benefits of this is #1, replace desserts that you have with blueberries and maybe some Greek yogurt. #2, keep frozen blueberries on hand and add them to smoothies. Blueberries in smoothies can still give you that positive effect. And 3rd, switch up the berries that you choose to eat. It doesn't have to just be blueberries. The darker the berries, the better. So think of things like cherries, blackberries, and of course, blueberries. Now, berries are a good option, but food #2 is actually better at lowering blood pressure long term. Food #2 is actually the most studied food when it comes to lowering blood pressure, and this magical food is ground flax seeds. These are tiny seeds that have a huge impact on blood pressure. Flax is a unique compound that is rich in omega-3 fatty acids, fiber, and something called polyphenols. All of these things come together to help lower blood pressure. A 2022 clinical trial found that 30 grams a day of ground flaxseed lowered systolic blood pressure by 13 points and diastolic blood pressure by 5 points in just 3 months. A 2024 meta-analysis confirmed these strong benefits in people with hypertension, with average drops of 8 to 9 points systolic over that same time frame. Now, tactically, the way that you add ground flaxseed into your diet is by taking 1 to 2 scoops to oatmeal, a smoothie, or even mixing it in with yogurt. Also, you want to store the ground flaxseed in your fridge for maximal freshness. Also, a super important point, whole flaxseed can sometimes pass through the digestive system undigested. It's the ground flaxseed that you want to concentrate on. Now, the 3rd food that we're talking about is very common, but the secret is most people just don't use enough of it. The 3rd food that we're talking about is garlic. Garlic isn't just used for flavor, but it's also a natural vasodilator, meaning that it acts directly on the blood vessels to widen them and ultimately lower blood pressure. It does so in a similar mannerism that berries do, by boosting levels of nitric oxide, which ultimately will dilate those vessels. Studies have shown that garlic supplements can lower systolic blood pressure by up to 8 points in just about 10 weeks. You can even see these effects with raw garlic, not just garlic supplements. The key that you want to do with preparing garlic garlic is to crush the garlic cloves and let it sit there for about 5 to 10 minutes. Doing so activates a compound called allicin, which will help get those maximal blood pressure effects. Now, the data on garlic is fairly wide in terms of how much you should take in a given day, but I want to say that you should start consuming about 600 to 900 milligrams per day, which translates to about half a teaspoon of garlic powder or about 3 whole garlic cloves. Now, if you don't like the taste of garlic, or you don't want your breath to be so potent that you're going around killing vampires, there are odorless garlic capsules that you can take, but I would try to stick to the real stuff because sometimes the garlic capsules don't quite give you that same potent lowering blood pressure effect. Now, if you can't remember everything that we talked about today, that's totally fine. I put together a free PDF called Foods Proven to Lower Blood Pressure, and you can grab that in the link below completely for free. Now, these foods are essential if you want to lower blood pressure, but honestly, they're only one piece of the puzzle. Unless you address the hidden causes of high blood pressure, your numbers will stay high no matter what you eat. If you haven't checked out my video, the top 3 hidden causes of high blood pressure, you're definitely going to want to do that right here.